University system is now called to order. We will now continue with introductions and recognitions. Chancellor Mitchell, President Hawkins, President Haney, President Skuvenek, President Lang, and President Rice Spearman, will you please present your introductions and recognitions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few recognitions. First is Mallory Barnes. Mallory, please stand up. Effective September 1st, Mallory was named as the Texas Tech University System Controller. She is an alumna of Texas Tech University, earning a Bachelor of Business Administration degree in Finance from the Rawls College in 2007. Before joining System Administration, Mallory served Texas Tech University for more than 10 years, most recently as the Assistant Director of Financial and Managerial Reporting. After taking a few years off to raise her 2 boys, she joined the System Administration Financial Reporting Team in June of 22 as a part-time financial reporting consultant. Mallory has extensive experience in financial analysis and data management and is a proven leader. At the university, she led the implementation of a new financial management system and alongside the former TTU controller, coordinated and prepared the TTU system annual comprehensive financial report as well as various other institutional financial reports. In her new role, Mallory serves as an important member of the TTU System CFO Office Leadership Team, providing recommendations for improving TTU system-wide financial management and reporting practices. She also manages and directs the compilation of the TTU System Annual Comprehensive Financial Report in collaboration with all 5 component universities. She is a hardworking, dedicated leader focused on providing accurate and efficient financial reporting and guidance to our component institutions. We're excited to see how she excels in this new role. Please help me and congratulate Mallory on her new role. Members of the board, we also have present with us today Senator Charles Perry. Senator Perry, please stand up. And we would also like to recognize Donna Corbin from Representative Tepper's office and Matt Crow from Representative Dustin Burrows' office. Would y'all stand up as well? These 3 legislative offices make up the core of our strong West Texas delegation within the state legislature. And we're so very grateful to have leaders who not only see the value in higher education, but who also work to inform their constituents about the impact that it has on the state's economy and workforce, as well as the well-being of our fellow Texans. Their dedication to and passion for higher education, as well as the Texas Tech University system, was extremely important this session, as it is every session, as they worked with other lawmakers on legislation to support critically needed funding for continued growth and excellence in innovative programs and initiatives at each of our 5 institutions. Thanks to the efforts of these legislators and those across the state, we saw a proposed constitutional amendment, Proposition 5, on the state ballot this month for the creation of the Texas University Fund, or as you may know it, the TUF. Even after the initial legislation passed, they continued working all the way through Election Day to increase awareness of the importance of the TUF. And ultimately, the majority of voters across the state voted for Prop 5. The proposition passed with 64% support. We carried 92% of all Texas counties and 81% of voters in Lubbock County alone. And my question was, who are the 19% of the voters in Lubbock County that voted against it? That's a separate conversation. The $3.9 billion endowment will be established with an initial investment from this year's state surplus and the current National Research University Fund balance without additional or new taxes. Thanks to yearly investments from the Rainy Day Fund, the TUF will grow in perpetuity, allowing other research institutions access to funding as they meet eligibility criteria. This is a monumental achievement for higher education in Texas, as the TUF will fund research at emerging research universities across the state, including Texas Tech University, and will serve as the catalyst for innovative advancements while driving even more economic growth and development in our communities and across Texas for future generations. This would not have been possible without the work of our state lawmakers and support from the citizens of the state. I would like to give special thanks not only to our delegation, but to Representative Greg Bonin, who authored the bill, and Senator Joan Huffman, who sponsored it on the Senate side. Of course, Governor Abbott, the Lieutenant Governor, and the Speaker of the House are to be congratulated on this achievement as well. But I want to thank you, Senator Charles Perry, and those that are representing Dustin and Carl Tepper for the commitment that you have to supporting higher education as well as the communities that you serve. One of the things I'll speak specifically to Charles Perry about, Charles has in his district 4 of our universities. This makes it exquisitely difficult for his office to give the attention that it needs to everything, but they work extremely hard to do just exactly that, and for that I'm personally very appreciative. I'd also like to go ahead, you guys stay standing, and recognize Carla Moran. Carla, where are you? Stand up, Carla. Carla's part of this crew as well. Carla is a proud Red Raider who earned a bachelor's degree in English from Texas Tech. She and her husband, Brad, also a Texas Tech alum, have long been champions of the Texas Tech University system and Texas Tech University. A well-known and active member of the Lubbock community and devoted supporter of her alma mater, Carla led a successful, separate grassroots effort that helped support the passage of Prop 5, which was the constitutional amendment establishing the TUF, as I just said. As many of you know, this was a historic initiative for Texas Tech and higher education, and we're here today celebrating that win. She assembled an impressive team of fellow advocates and supporters, and together they worked with teams and supporters of the 4 initial TUF universities to inform voters about the fund, the importance of it to Texas Tech University, and the impact that it will have on research and higher education throughout the state. We are glad to be here today and would not be celebrating the creation of the TUF without the efforts of our legislative team and Carla Moran and her team. So I want to recognize her and the entire delegation for their work and service to our university, our system, and our community. Let's give them a round of applause. This was truly a collaborative effort. I also want to thank President Skuvenak as well as the Board of Regents for their leadership in this effort. Folks across the system and at the university all stepped up. From the Alumni Association to our governmental relations team, our communication and marketing folks, informing the public across the state. Thank everybody for their work. And that concludes my recognitions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'm not sure, to the delegation and to Carla and to my colleagues here on the board, that thank you is enough. We don't know what this opportunities and how it's going to present itself, but what I do know is this: because of your efforts, this is going to be a lifelong legacy that's going to change lives, and it's because of your efforts and because of this board's advocacy and this system's commitment to higher ed. There's going to be lives changed, and there's going to be opportunities presented that we could not even imagine. So we say thank you, and that's just not enough, because your advocacy, your commitment will have far-reaching impact. And I would invite any of my colleagues, if they want to make a comment or to say a special thank you. Anybody else?
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I don't want not to put you on the spot, Charles, but I was wondering if you could give everybody just a word or two about it.
Yeah, first of all, I wish my colleagues were here. Wish my other 2 colleagues were here. Schedule's trying to herd cats right now with legislatures, but it's a team effort. I mean, this started for me about 2011, but and I think every representative or senator from Lubbock, Texas, has this as a goal, and it is transformational, and it couldn't have been done without everybody's involvement, from the staff and chancellor working the politics of it just like we do. The mechanics of the numbers and how it's going to work out is part of it, but the political side of these debates and arguments is beyond most people's understanding or comprehension. But it was time. It's long overdue. Couldn't have been done without every person's involvement that were involved, and just glad to be a part of it. Just a good season in life to be here. And I do think that, you know, the things to come from this region, specific to ag and water and medical and the things that we already have a footprint on, will outlive us all. And I think that sometimes we forget when you're in the moment, or just the moment. But I truly do believe that this university, as well as this area of the country, will lead on the things that matter to every individual citizen, whether they realize it or not, day-to-day quality of life. Water, healthcare, food and fiber, all the things we always talk about. They're real. They're not anecdotal. They're not sound bites. They're real. So I'm just glad to be here, glad to be a part of it, and it worked out well. And it was a fun fight. And I don't know what the next fight's going to be. We've gotten some big stuff done, but already kind of setting up the table for that conversation. But thank you guys for having us here today. And again, I can't say enough about the team approach that you have from this region. We partner well and pretty politically savvy, even in spite of a CPA that doesn't really care about politics. It works out most of the time. So appreciate you guys.
I'll say one thing. This is a huge win and great team effort, and I'll reflect what the Chancellor said. We had a great team working on this, and really appreciate everyone's effort. But the thing I want to say is just as transformational and monumental as this is, it should only be the beginning of what we do. And we have a long history of doing more with less and not asking for what we deserve and what we're entitled to in West Texas. And we need to keep fighting. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep advancing the mission, because I know when you look across the state at all of higher ed, we are the one that is doing things the right way. And we have a great mission, a great cause, and a great group of people out here, a great region, and we need to keep fighting for them. And so again, this is just the beginning. So you're not done yet, Senator. So let's keep going.
Thank you, Cody. President Hawkins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to recognize three individuals, one that is recently retired, but I wanted to start with David Morales. David Morales is the new director for the Center for International Studies at Angelo State University. David is a native of San Angelo, Texas, and a graduate of Angelo State University. He received his bachelor's in government, a master's in public administration, and a master's in education from ASU. Prior to accepting his new position at Angelo State, David served as Director of Enrollment Services at Lamar State College, Port Arthur, where he helped set record enrollment for the campus. Before working at Lamar State, David spent several years helping to shape the minority male initiatives at Dallas College. David Morales believes in experiential learning and works to create an environment where each student can work to find their passion and purpose. David believes that if you follow your passion, it will lead to your purpose, and if you know your purpose, it will refuel and sustain your passion. Speaking of David Morales, I also want to recognize Ms. Lena Morales, David's mother and a faithful member of the Ram family, who was an ASU employee from January 12, 1981 to August 31st, 2023. Lena retired from her position of executive assistant to the president after 42 years, 7 months, and 19 days of stellar service to 5 different presidents who served under her. I mean, she served under. Lena's fingerprints were all over Angelo State University. Her smile was infectious, and there was not a person who came through the door of the president's office that she did not try to help in some way. It was a bittersweet moment when she left the office for the last time, but her desire was to spend more time with her family, which now includes taking close care of her father and the grandchildren. We know she will not be a stranger because you will always see her and her husband Alfred at Angelo State athletic events. Finally, we welcome Miss Ashley Warren, Angelo State's new Chief of Staff. Ashley is also a native of San Angelo. She received her bachelor's in communications and a master's in education from Angelo State. Ashley is no stranger to ASU, having worked in several offices both as a student and after graduating with her master's. She felt the need to get out of the metropolis of San Angelo and move to the Permian Basin, where she worked at Odessa College as the assistant to the president. Ashley eventually moved back to ASU into the position as head of our HSI STEM grant prior to moving into her current position as the Chief of Staff. Watch out, Daly. And so she's here at Angelo State right now. And we welcome both Ashley Warren and David Morales to ASU. Thank you very much.
Anything else, President Hawkins?
No, thank you.
President Haney.
Yes, so I am so excited to be able to introduce Julie Gaynor. Julie, if you would stand. Julie is the Director of Marketing and Public Information at Midwestern State University, And if Julie had written this, it would be infinitely better. We are so proud of Julie. She is a first-generation student from Haskell, Texas, and an MSU Texas alumna. After completing her degree in mass communication at MSU, Julie worked at the Times Record News in Wichita Falls for 12 years before we lured her back to MSU. Under her leadership, the Marketing and Public Information Department has developed and maintained the university's first branding standards, won the university's first CASE Accolade Award, and has been recognized as a top university in social media engagement. They are working very hard to train me. She does such an incredible job for us, and she and her team have been incredibly busy recently sharing the news that MSU was named the #1 most beautiful college campus in Texas by the travel website. So we are very proud of her work there. And we cannot wait for the meeting in February to share our campus with all of you. And while we are incredibly grateful for Julie's amazing leadership, we also are so appreciative that she is just such a delightful individual to work with. So thank you, Julie.
President Skuvenek.
Mr. Chairman, before I get into my introductions, I'd first like to invite everyone here today to a dedication this afternoon at Memorial Circle. We'll be dedicating an addition to Memorial Circle called the Military and Veterans Tribute Walk and Wall of Honor. Congressman Pfluger and Arrington will be there, along with 6 Gold Star family members coming from across the United States. It's another way we can show our appreciation and honor those who've served our country. My first introduction today is Wes Burgett. Wes leads efforts related to the West Texas Mesonet. This summer in Matador, which is northeast of Lubbock, there was a devastating tornado that resulted in very widespread damage and 4 casualties. And following that storm, West Texas Mesonet, led by Wes, built its 154th station in Matador to provide that area with real-time weather observations. That was crucial to meteorological events as what affected that community this summer. The West Texas Mesonet, and you see a map of it up there, is housed under the National Wind Institute, and it provides meteorological and agricultural data. Wes has been building about 8 new stations each year with the goal of having the Texas Panhandle completely covered. Currently, there are 155 stations across 84 counties in Texas, New Mexico, Colorado. It costs about $25,000 to install and maintain those stations, but it's a wonderful collaboration with the National Weather Service, Texas Parks and Wildlife, the National Park Service, and there are many other entities who have supported that effort. We also have a station located at Angelo State, Tarleton, and Lubbock Christian down the road. So today, we recognize and thank Wes, who has been at Texas Tech for 26 years, for his efforts to make our community safer. Next, I'd like to introduce Roland Fowler, who is our new Dean of the Whitaker College of Engineering. Roland was named Dean to the Edward E. Whitaker Junior College of Engineering on June 6th and began his duties on August 1st. Previously, he was the Executive Associate Dean in the College of Engineering at the University of California, Davis, where he was also the Associate Dean for Graduate Studies and the Associate Dean for Facilities and Capital Planning. In those roles, he led the implementation of online self-supporting master's programs and certificates and an upgrade to the UC Davis Engineering Design Center and the Coffee Center. He joined UC Davis in 2002 as an assistant professor of chemical engineering and material science. He studied physics at the University of Bayreuth in Germany, and earned his doctorate in physics at Hannes Gutenberg University in Mainz for his work at the Max Planck Institute. He completed his postdoctoral work at the University of Wisconsin. The Whitaker College of Engineering is a very, very important college on this campus. And Wallen, we're very glad that you'll be leading in that college. Next, it's a great pleasure to introduce the Winchie family. This is a small representation of that family. But more members of that family are on the slide above us. There are many families with deep ties to Texas Tech, but none have had a greater presence at the university quite like the Winchie family. This summer, the Guinness Book of World Records recognized the Winchies for having the most family members to ever graduate from the same university. In all, 44 members of the Winchie family, originally from Wilson, have earned degrees from Texas Tech, starting with Francis Winchie Holden in 1953. All told, counting spouses, 110 members of the Winchie family have attended Texas Tech. 4 are current students, and there are 10 who have already committed to enroll in the future. They were most recently recognized at the Texas Tech TCU football game on November, and this family's remarkable story was featured in the University magazine Evermore in a podcast of Fearless Champions. With us today are Derek Holden, class of 1983, Karen Schumacher, class of 1993, Amber McWhirter, class of 1998, Wendy Arms, class of 2000, and Norris and Judy Winchie, both of the class of 1971. Norris is the oldest surviving Tech graduate family member and was the third out of the 44 to graduate as part of setting this record. We're so proud of you, and thank you for being here today.
President Skubinek, before we continue, has the Winchie family been informed of our rewards program? 2 more students, we'll cut your tuition in half. Okay?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It might be too late to make that.
President Skubinek,
You need a motion on that? Yeah.
the Winchies were telling me beforehand that they were upstaged at the TCU game by your possum that you brought to the game. They want a redo in 2024.
Yeah, they gave me a Christmas ornament. And guess what? It's a possum. But with that, let's close the chapter on the possum. My final introduction is Blaine Beal. There's Blaine. I was going to wait until after the Carol of Lights, which is the concluding event of our centennial celebration, to recognize Blaine. But a few days ago, he walked into the office with some exciting news that's very timely, and so I wanted to share that with you now. As you know, next week we'll be going to New York City. We're flying out of here on Monday, taking the entire Going Band and others so that they can march in the Macy's Day Parade. But this man never stops seeking publicity, and he and he was been communicating with NBC, and so he came in last week to say that about 130, 120 members of our Going Band are going to be featured live, playing our fight song on NBC's Today Show next week. That's a great. That gives Texas Tech and the Going Band priceless exposure. Blaine has been the director of the Centennial Coordination, but there are many, many people that have been involved in that. That's one of the biggest marketing efforts we've ever made. It's been a great chance for Red Raiders to get together and show their pride and think about what's to be. So, Blaine, I can't thank you enough for all you've done.
Blaine, one more word. No one's going to be more pleased to have this over than Noel and Lawrence as it relates to budget impacts. So you've done a fantastic job. Well done. Thank you.
I'm glad you put the finger on him.
President Lang.
Yes, sir. I have two presentations. If you'll put the slide up for me, please. You'll recognize her. She's no stranger to you. This is Dr. Andrea Tani, who's the Vice President of Institutional Advancement, Communications, and Marketing at Texas Tech University, El Paso. But she was recognized by the city of El Paso as a woman of impact, and they award that to 5 women that make the most significant impact in El Paso and the surrounding region. What you don't know is, in addition to what she does for me, she sits on the El Paso Hispanic Chamber as a board member, the Texas Lyceum on the board of directors, the Borderplex Alliance on the board of directors, the Aspen Latino Institute Hunt Fellow inaugural alumni chair, the New Mexico Economic Development Fund advisor, USO El Paso board member, American Red Cross, American Association of Medical Colleges, development. We could be here all day, okay? But it's my privilege to serve with her. In fact, not a week goes by where people don't say, do you know how lucky you are to work with Andrea? Nobody ever tells Andrea, do you know how lucky you are to work with Dr. Lang, okay? But I have the privilege of also teaching a leadership course with Dr. Andrea Tani. So I just want you to realize that she is a real gem. So Andrea, she'd be here except she's working on these boards, I'm sure. Actually, she didn't know I was going to make the announcement until yesterday. So Andrea, I know you're watching this, and we're just very proud of you. So thank you. Speaking of proud, if you go to the next picture, this is Dr. Tway Tay. Across the state of Texas, they choose 10 professors from all over 438 different colleges to be nominated or awarded as the most outstanding educators in the state, and Tway Tay is one of those, the second in El Paso. Now, I'm proud of her for several reasons. One is she's the Assistant Dean of Medical Education. She gets our students ready for residency. She gets outstanding reviews. She demands excellence. She motivates individuals. But she's a graduate of the residency in Odessa. She originally got her medical training in Rangoon, Myanmar, and then came and got her residency training there, was on faculty there for a while, was on faculty with me in San Antonio, and then joined us on faculty at Texas Tech University Health Sciences in El Paso. On a national level, she writes the board questions that license medical students, and she sits on the chapter of the American Academy of Physicians as well. So she's really outstanding. And Tway, I just want to tell you we're very proud of you, and congratulations on your awardee of being the 2023 Piper Professor for the state of Texas. Thank you. That ends my recognitions. Thank you, sir.
President Rice Spearman.
Good morning. I'm honored to recognize Dr. Douglas M. Stocko, Grover E. Murray Emeritus Professor, who served Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center for more than 40 years. His success as a research scientist contributed to the reputation of RHSC's research efforts, and his leadership laid a foundation on which research at our great university has advanced significantly. Dr. Stocko was a highly productive researcher whose studies focused on the mechanisms involved in steroid hormone synthesis and received NIH funding for almost the entirety of his career. He is best recognized for his research discovery of steroidogenic acute regulatory protein, or STAR protein, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, which brought him worldwide acclaim as it resolved a decades-long quest to identify the mechanism underlying the acute regulation of steroidogenesis. The STAR protein is a key protein that allows cholesterol to be converted into bioactive hormones necessary for reproduction and maintaining carbohydrate and salt balance in the body. His career began at the HSC in 1974 when he joined the School of Medicine Department of Cell Biology and Biochemistry. From there, he enthusiastically accepted leadership roles, advancing the university's research efforts and reputation. In 2008, he was named Executive Vice President for Research, and in 2011, also assumed the role of Dean of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. Dr. Stocko retired September 1st, 2014, but certainly did not stop serving the university. During his tenure, Dr. Stocko distinctly served his profession and our university. He was widely published with more than 200 peer-reviewed scientific articles, book chapters, and abstracts, and was an invited guest speaker at numerous national and international conferences. Because of his respected citizenship in the scientific community and at TTU-HSC, Dr. Stocko was presented with numerous awards at both the university and system levels, as well as nationally and internationally. He has received the National Institute of Health Research Career Development Award, supporting promising clinician scientists and faculty members, the NIH Merit Award, recognizing investigators who have demonstrated superior skill and outstanding productivity, the Grover E. Murray Professorship, the highest distinction a faculty member can attain. The British Endocrine Society presented him with the Transatlantic Medal Award in 1999, recognizing a North American endocrinologist who has significantly contributed to the field. The Raine Distinguished Professorship at the University of Western Australia, the University Distinguished Professor in 2003, a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, the Dean's Research Award, President's Research Award, Chancellor's Council Distinguished Award, and Distinguished Scientist of the Year from the Society of Reproduction and Fertility in the United Kingdom. He also has been a recipient of the most prestigious Carl G. Hartman Award in 2012, the highest honor bestowed by the Society of the Study of Reproduction, acknowledging his outstanding research career and scholarly activities in reproductive biology. The HSC School of Medicine also honored him by renaming the Dean's Faculty Excellence in Research Award as the Douglas M. Stocko Scholarship Research Award. I'm grateful to the Board of Regents for considering our request during this board meeting to name the Endowment Research Chair to the Douglas Stocko Research Chair to support the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center Office of Research, honoring this incredible man's legacy. We are indebted to his work, which has transformed healthcare, and we are a better community because of his influence in shaping research at our HSC. Dr. Stocko, thank you for your innovative contributions to science, your collaborative collegiality, and your mentorship of young scientists, including myself. TTU-HSC is a much better institution, and those of us fortunate to work with you are greatly impacted by your friendship. Our chancellor often says the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and today, and Douglas Stocko planted a tree for the office of our research and the future of our research at the HSC over 40 years ago. Our university this last week was one of 14 universities across the nation to be recognized as a spoke for the ARPA-H hub coming out of UT Southwestern in Dallas, and we truly stand on his shoulders for what we've been able to accomplish in research. Thank you, Dr. Stocko, and your wife, Kathy. I also today want to thank our School of Pharmacy and our Office of the President's staff who came in this morning and enthusiastically gave you all immunizations, and I wish you well the next 24 to 48 hours. Also part of the team is our Chief Health Officer, and you may recognize Dr. Ron Cook if you're from this area. He became a little bit of a celebrity during the pandemic, and now he has joined our team full-time. Ron, if you'll stand up. His role as Chief Health Officer is to really coordinate the health and wellness of our universities across the 6 communities in which we work. He also has assumed the Chief Medical Officer role for our Institute of Telehealth and Digital Health. If you're not aware, Ron has been associated with he was the chair of our Department of Family Medicine for a very long time and has trained many of the primary care providers across this region. He'll be getting in that good old black Suburban and traveling across all of West Texas, deepening those relationships with those individuals to make sure that we're supporting those communities and continuing to push healthcare out to them. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that Dr. Cook is available to each of the regents as well to help support and helping you navigate or facilitate anything that you might need. So thank you. And with that, I conclude.
Thank you.
Dr. Rice Spearman, I would love if you would have just a few minutes to share the ARPA-H initiative and how critical that is for Texas Tech Health Sciences Center to be one of 14. Can you share a little bit of that with the rest of the regents?
Absolutely. And so ARPA-H was created to identify, the nation was divided into 4 regions, and they developed 4 hubs in those 4 regions. Dallas, particularly UT Southwestern, was identified as the hub. And then out of those hubs, they identified what they consider critical access points that can change the health disparities in the communities in which they serve. And so based on our research reputation and what we've already doing in access to care and health disparities, we were named the spoke for the UT Southwestern hub to serve out here in our region. And so we're very proud of the work. I want to acknowledge our GR team was part of this, our research team was part of this, our researchers. It really is an honor to serve that.
It's transformational. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Before we move on, I'd like to say one more word about I think to complete the circle on the Stocko family. Kathy is an integral and was an integral part in this community with her work at foundations and nonprofits, and her presence has been felt for many years because of her efforts. And this is a team effort with the Stocko family, and I wanted to also just to recognize Kathy and her good work in this community. My dad used to refer to people like them as being knee-deep in citizenship, and that's exactly what this good couple and this family exhibits and exemplifies in Lubbock. and beyond. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, lest anybody thinks that Stocko and Ron Cook are just a couple of like medical nerds, Ron's a big motorcycle aficionado. And Stocko, his greatest accolade is what, Doug? I'm sorry? What's your greatest accolade? Your hockey career. Come on. Yeah, he's got the busted nose to prove it. Anyway, they're well-rounded individuals, Mr. Chair.
Well, thank you for that, Chancellor. Okay, thanks for the introductions and recognitions. We really appreciate each of you being here, and you honor us with your presence today. The board will continue in open session and meet as a committee of the whole and meeting of the board. To begin with, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the board meetings held August 10th and 11th, 2023, and August 27th through 29th, 2023? Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Thank you. The motion passes. We will now consider items as a committee of the whole, and I would ask the Vice Chairman, Ginger Carrick-Davis, to preside over the committee of the whole.
Thank you, Chairman. The first item is consideration of the consent agenda, items A through I, as listed on pages 1 through 27 of the agenda book, and the information agenda, as listed on pages 28 through 41. Is there any discussion of the items in either the consent or the information agendas? As a reminder, if there is an item that you would like to discuss in further detail or voted on separately from the consent agenda, you may request that that item be moved to the committee of the whole agenda. All right, hearing none, Mr. Chairman, I move that the board approve the consent agenda and acknowledge its review of the information agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. The motion passes.
All right, Mr. Chairman, this concludes the items to be considered by the committee of the whole at this time.
Thank you, Regent. Kano, will you please present the schedule of upcoming board meetings, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the schedule of upcoming board meetings for calendar year 2024 can be found in the agenda book. But of special note, the February 29th through March 1st meeting will be held in Wichita Falls as a part of our roadshow meeting. This will be the second time that the board will meet on the MSU campus, but the first time as a regular meeting. The May meeting currently is scheduled for the 23rd through 24th here in Lubbock, but there might be need to amend that, so more to come on that one. And then, of course, the August meeting, August 8th through 9th, and then November 14th through 15th, all in 2024 here in Lubbock.
Thank you very much, Kano. Next, we'll hear from our student government presidents. First up will be Cam Weezy, the ASU SGA president. Please bring your report, Cam. Thank you and welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cam Weezy, and I'm the student body president at Angelo State University. Before I begin, I would like to apologize. I'm currently falling victim to my allergies, so my voice kind of sounds like chicken scratch today. So I'll be beginning with my overview, and I'll be talking about fall Senate activities and events that we've had on campus today. Or not today. Well, yeah, today. So beginning with the fall wrap-up, the first bullet point talks about our Senate recruitment with registered student organization outreach. That will be abbreviated to RSO for the presentation today. So a few ways that we have been improving in our outreach on campus is that we've been in collaboration with student organization leaders on campus, as well as several events that I'll be talking about later in this presentation. First things first, I'll be talking about RAM Remembrance, which is an annual tradition at Angelo State University. It's to honor students, faculty, staff, and alumni who have passed away. And this past RAM Remembrance, we honored 115 who have passed. And up next, I will be talking about the revived RSO Roundtable. It has been one of my initiatives on campus to be able to congregate with other student organization leaders on campus, and so that way we can discuss fundamental issues such as student attrition and retention in ways that we can improve our organizations. For Senate activities, the image on the left is our SGA Pink Out meeting. Every October, we have our Senate dress up in pink for breast cancer awareness. And then the image on the right is senators being present on RAM Radio, which, as they were discussing student issues on campus, hot takes, and fun little things like that, and talking about student government and what we've been up to this semester. For our Senate activities, normally our senators are very busy, as the most active within our student government are organizational leaders. And so this year we were able to have an SGA intramural team, furthering our outreach on campus and showing that we are more than business and that we are also students. The image in the middle is part of our Boo Bash, which is a trunk or treat that was hosted on campus on Halloween for families in the community. And then the image on the far right is part of one of our initiatives with our RAM Pantry. We hosted our Canned Good Drive. We will have more this upcoming semester and later this month. As always, ASU is a values-based culture, and our Student Government Association acts with our 5 core values at the forefront of our minds, and they help guide our decision-making processes. Are there any questions? Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you, Cam. We'll put them in writing to you and save your voice, okay? Next up is Zetta Kennedy, the MSU SGA president. Welcome.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and I have to apologize for my voice, too. I am not sick. I just had a very intense trivia night this week, so I apologize.
Did you all plan this before the...
I know. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'll get started. So we've got a lot of fun things happening this year. So first off, our Student Senate. This is actually the largest Student Senate we've had in our SGA history. So we have over 40 different student organizations represented alongside all 6 of our academic colleges and the McAda Graduate School. So one thing for sure I have to add with this is the first time we've ever had to actually put a timer on our discussions in Senate. They are great at being critical thinkers and definitely making sure that the funds we provide to student organizations, the decisions we're making are what they need to be, and they are doing great at that. Next up, we had our 2nd annual candidate forum, which we partnered with the League of Women Voters to put on. So we had all 11 candidates running for Wichita Falls City Council and mayor that participated. And the event had over 250 students and community members in attendance. Definitely planning to have a 3rd annual one next fall. Every year it's so successful, and it's a great way to just get out to see community members on campus, and it allows students to learn about the candidates that are running. And then lastly, I think this is probably one of my favorite things to get to tell y'all is we've launched our first year student council. So at the last board meeting, I told you we were getting ready to launch it, which we did. So we've met about 4 times over this semester. And we have 15 first year students. We kind of decided to start small just because we are still developing the program. But one thing, I serve as an MSU crew leader, so it's kind of our part 2 the week before classes start. It's part 2 of orientation. It's one of my favorite weeks on campus where you get to greet your first year students, you teach them the fight song, you teach them all the traditions. And generally in that week, you start to point out these are going to be your next student leaders. So a lot of those joined our first year student council. But I actually had one student who I didn't hear him say a word the whole week. And then he comes up to me the last day and is like, I want to be a part of the first year student council. And I'm like, that's great. You are very quiet, but okay. And so he joins, he's great in the program, still doesn't talk a whole lot. And then about the 2nd or 3rd week of school, he visits me in my office and he is really freaked out because he was just told that discussion is part of his grade in one of his classes, and he's freaking out because he does not like to talk in front of people. So I explained to him, I'm like, I think it'll be okay. Like, just discuss what you can, make sure you do the readings. And then he actually came to me 2 weeks ago that through this program, he has absolutely bloomed, is much more talkative, and is very involved on the campus. And he actually came to me just a few weeks ago and said he just got in trouble for talking too much in the discussion class. So I definitely think that is something I didn't expect to develop from this first year student council, but it's great to see a student go from being definitely introverted to, I think, probably one of the best student leaders that MSU will see. And then some of our legislation and resolutions that we have passed. So we have reopened our Comanche Trail. It's a road on campus. After overwhelming student feedback, we led an initiative to reopen the road. We took a survey, and over 85% of students said they did not like the road closure. And I have to applaud President Haney for being open to reopening the road. And so I'm super excited that we will see it reopen in January. Next, we've also launched our Community Ambassador Program. So we invited for our first one, President of the Shepherd Military Affairs Committee, Glenn Barham. He's also former mayor of Wichita Falls and Wichitan of the Year previously to speak at the Student Senate. And I have to say with him, I really appreciate it. He came and was like, I'll give you 20 minutes of my time, and has stayed close to an hour talking to students and answering their questions about Shepherd Air Force Base. And then lastly, we introduced the Campus Sims program. And this was led by one of my vice presidents, Vincent Peter, who is an international student from the Caribbean. He did an excellent job on this. And one of the problems where he came up with the idea is his SIM card no longer worked in the United States. So I had a while where couldn't text or call him when I need to. So he finally got a SIM card, and we also noticed that it was an issue that a lot of international students have. So we launched this program. We partnered with Campus Sims, and they will provide free SIM cards to international students, which gives them access to wireless service in the U.S. And then lastly, just some of the fun traditions that have happened on campus this year. We've had our President's Picnic, which was a great hit again. Had great barbecue, fun games out in the yard, inflatables, which President Haney even partook in. And we got to tour Sykes House, which is always fun. Next up, we had homecoming. So homecoming is definitely one of my favorite weeks on campus, and I have to say, of my 4 years at MSU, I think this was our best homecoming week yet. It was a home sweet homecoming. Although we do have a cardboard boat race, which you'll see our Caribbean student organization has been like the champion for 3 past years, and they were the champion again this year. Although we did have a lot of swimmers, not many boats that floated. And then our fall festival just took place actually about a week ago. We provided mocktails for the event. It was great again. Weather was perfect. And so it's just the many things that I think MSU provides to students to definitely develop that feeling of community. Okay, thank you. And are there any questions?
First off, I'd like to congratulate y'all. It seems like y'all have gotten a lot of increase in engagement from the students on campus. Maybe it's because they want to throw Dr. Haney in the fountain next year.
Yes.
But could you expand a little bit on that, on the SIMS program, and what the process was like to get that started on campus?
Yeah, so it was actually pretty simple. So my vice president did lead it, and he, like I said, did an excellent job in that he kind of gave me, he's like, I think this is a good idea, maybe I'll pursue it. Reached out to the company, the organization, which is Campus Sims, and they were like, that's great. Yeah, and they literally emailed back and said, how many SIM cards do you need right now? And we actually turned that over to our global education office already, and they're going to take on the program, and it's going to be something provided to students each semester.
Zed, I've got an action item for you. Since the board's going to be in Wichita Falls here in about 3 months, we're charging you with making sure Dr. Haney's dip in the fountain happens either on February the 29th or March the 1st.
Absolutely.
You pick the date, one of those 2 dates, but that's your charge.
Okay, I will make note of that.
We have to meet the retention goal, then yes. That will be by February.
Yeah, and if it does happen, I'll make sure you all get the stickers too.
Yes.
So. Okay, well, thank y'all.
Zeta, thank you very much. Well done. Next up, we'll hear from Joel Rivero, who is the TTU SGA president. Welcome, Joel.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, my throat's also.
Joel, don't.
Sorry. Something's going on, I guess. No. But good morning, Chairman Griffin, members of the board. Thank you for affording me the opportunity to speak to you all on behalf of Texas Tech Student Government Association here this morning. So it's been a while since I spoke last time, and I'm going to touch on this great tradition that we started this past August 23rd. And this was the first photo of Red Raider experience. We had over 3,700 students in attendance, far surpassed what we thought we would have at the very first event. And we took a picture in a big group double T. And I actually have some posters for you all that will be given to you all afterwards for y'all to keep as a keepsake, as a token of our appreciation to y'all. But we had a lot of great times there. President Skuvanek gave his remarks there, and the students loved it. students still talk about it to this day. Some students like myself and upperclassmen were like, I wish we had this, but it's a great tradition to start, and we're hoping to keep that going for the next century, hopefully. But next up, we have our Matador Mental Health Day. This is something that we've worked with the Risk Intervention and Safety Education Department, RISE, to collaborate on an event that focuses on our students' mental health. And we had over 500 students participate in this. We had a scavenger hunt where they went to the Student Wellness Center, the Rec Center, just different areas that focus on their mental health and just help them just to get them educated on the different resources that Texas Tech has. So we were so grateful to have had that. Raider Red stopped by, students took pictures. We had food vouchers for students that faced food insecurity. So we just wanted to focus on different aspects of wellness to help our students on that specific day. And it was right near the Worldwide Mental Health Day, so it was just an awesome time, and it was also during homecoming week. So a great time to focus on our students' mental health, as that is a busy week. So we're hoping that we can keep this going for years to come and just have more of an emphasis on our students' mental health. Next up, we traveled this past October to our annual Big 12 conference in Texas Christian University. They hosted us, and we just covered different topics that pertain to each of our institutions and each of our student government associations, but we also laid down the framework of what we were going to lobby on behalf of the Big 12 in our Big 12 on the Hill in February. So we just met as a collective, and it was great to hear from the different universities, and without a doubt, I can say that Texas Tech is a leader in the Big 12 conference. We had a lot of great conversations, and we're so grateful to have been a part of that. Next up, in our efforts to increase safety on campus and just educate our students on the different safety aspects as part of our Development Weeks initiative, we had our Safety Week, October 23rd through the 27th. We connected our students with various different departments, such as the police department, as well as financial safety, mental safety, physical safety. We took a walk around campus to identify the different areas that were either needing more additional lighting or just were not safe for our students, so we were able to report that back to different stakeholders, and a lot of our students participated in that. On the right-hand side, you're going to see pictures with the police department. We had donuts with the PD, and that was just a great way to have that conversation to allow students to see who's protecting them and the first responders that are there for them. So we're grateful to have that started, and hopefully that we can keep this going. Next up, I know that I talked about this in the August Board of Regents meeting, but we're happy to say that game day shuttles happened this past semester during our home game days. We serviced about 100 students overall this entire semester. Our last run is going to be tomorrow before the UCF game. So it's just a great way to get our students to the game, but also to get them there safely, and they don't have to pay for an Uber if they are traveling to the game. So it was just a way for them to get there free and safely. Next up, in efforts to encourage student volunteerism and in efforts for our centennial volunteerism of the goal of 1 million service hours, we partnered with different volunteer organizations around the city of Lubbock, as well as the Alumni Association and the Centennial Volunteering Committee, just to have the different opportunities for our students. We had over 250 students that volunteered that weekend, and we logged over 500 volunteer hours in the span of 3 days. So that's just a really awesome way that our students are giving back to our community here in Lubbock. Lubbock does so much for us. We just want to do our part and give back to them, and obviously help in that 1 million service hours. So some other highlights on the left-hand side, you're going to see our graduate vice president. He was having meals with the GVP, but that was just a programming event to have that the bread and butter conversations with our students, our graduate students, to see what their needs are, but also help in efforts to fight food insecurity for them, as that is a big topic within our graduate community. We had over 500 graduate students in both events come out, and that was just an awesome way to get engaged with the graduate community. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see our internal vice president, which is the president of the Senate, and just some other senators. We have an 80-student Senate, and so far we've passed 99 pieces of legislation. So our student Senate is really hard at work, and I'm so grateful to have them. They reach all different areas of our campus, and they've been so phenomenal so far. And just to touch on some ongoing initiatives that we're still working on, safety on Greek Circle, we're still working with the city of Lubbock to conduct speed surveys on Greek Circle to identify the different areas that would need those speed bumps. just to keep our students that are in that area on Mondays and Sundays safe. And then our Safe Ride Home, we're still working with IT and different areas on campus to identify a third-party rideshare system that can provide students with a ride home if they need it after a night out. And then our development weeks, we're currently in our last development week of this semester, and it's our SGA week. If you are by the free speech area today by chance around 11:30, I'll be passing out pizza to different students. So come out, and if you're hungry, come out to that. And then our Eyes on the Horizon graduate walk. We did this past May. We're looking to do this again for our graduate students. We're still very early on in the planning process, so come in February, I'll give y'all more of an update on that. And then our town hall forums, we've had 2 other town halls this past semester, one in conjunction with Suicide Prevention Week, just to discuss the different topics with that and provide students with the necessary resources if they're struggling with that, and then a graduate student town hall. And then this coming after Thanksgiving, we're gonna have a town hall just to, in efforts of transparency with different administrators to talk about the different changes on campus, just to give students more of a one-on-one conversation and open up the forum for that. And then lastly, our OER marketing campaign. This spring, we're hoping to launch that just to educate our students on the resources that are there and to find the low to no cost textbooks, but also to push faculty to use these resources because in the long run, that'll make our students' textbooks cheaper. But I know that was a lot, but we've been extremely active this semester, but if you have any questions, I'm open to take any.
Do y'all plan on continuing the game day shuttle?
The goal is yes. I think that for basketball, it gets a little tricky, but for football, the goal is to continue it on for years to come. And transportation has been really helpful on that and been really proactive in offering that service for us. So hopefully for years to come, yes, we would love for that to continue on. And our students have been really receptive to it. We've heard a lot of positive feedback on it. And they were just so grateful to have a ride to the game.
Anyone else? Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Good report. We'll hear next from Cheyenne Petty, who is the TTU-HSC SGA president. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My voice currently is okay. We'll see how it is by the end of this meeting. So as I was introduced, I'm Cheyenne Petty. I'm the current president of the TTU-HSC Student Government Association. Last time I was here, I was very excited to introduce you to all of our new executive officers. This time, I'm even more excited to introduce you to all of our wonderful senators on our different committees within our different schools and programs. The TTU-HSC SGA is a little bit different as we are on 6 different campuses and we are a part of 20+ different programs that we represent. We have 6 different committees that we break our senators up into so that they have a better opportunity to collaborate towards common goals, and our Senate can function in a little bit more of a directed way where students aren't acting only in the interest of their programs, but they're acting in the interest of their campuses, of their schools, and thinking about the TTU-HSC as a whole. As you see, these different committees are comprised of our Community Service Committee, our Finance Committee, our Operations Committee, Social, Scholarship, and Public Relations. And just to highlight a few of the things that our committees are working on, currently our Finance Committee is working on special project funds to give student organizations extra funding for projects that benefit both students and campuses in any way that they need to. So as they come up, students find new opportunities to accomplish different things, we can help fund that. Our Scholarship Committee is currently working on fundraising for our Double T Scholarship, which is our fall scholarship put on by the SGA. We also have a spring scholarship that we'll talk about next time. We are currently trying to raise $500 for it to give out to TTU-HSC students. And then our public relations team has been hard at work putting together social media projects so that students can see on different campuses and see in different programs what their SGA can do for them and know that no matter where they are, their voice matters. Our social committee has been hard at work at our senators and subs, where we actually go in person on each of our campuses and have lunch with our students so that they can meet their senators and that we can meet our peers and constituents. We just had our recent senator and sub on Lubbock yesterday, and it was a great success. We had several of our senators here in Lubbock come, and we were able to meet with so many different students from audiology, physical therapy, occupational therapy, School of Medicine, School of Nursing, so many different programs coming together and allowing for these programs also to intermingle among each other. We have our next one in Dallas, and then we have one for our distant students as well, for our schools that are solely online, so that they can also develop a bridge of communication to our SGA, as well as a sense of community as they go through a really challenging course, to know that they're not alone in this. And then our last one for this semester is in Amarillo. As many of you might remember, I made a grand promise in August to visit each of our campuses, and I'm proud to announce that in October I visited Dallas, I just did my event in Lubbock, and then I will be going to our Amarillo event on the 28th. So therefore, in about this first half of the semester, I've covered almost half of the 350 miles that the TTU HSC spans, and I'm proud to announce that we will be continuing to do our senator and sub events on Odessa, Abilene, and Midland in January, and I hope to attend these events as well. So also, our Community Service Committee has been hard at work too. While we don't have exactly 500 hours of community service between us, between the 50-plus senators in our Senate, we have accomplished over 120 hours of community service this semester alone. One of our big community service events is the medication cleanouts. We actually presented legislation for SGA to support medication cleanouts last year, and I'm proud to announce that that support has paid off this year. And all of these are just senators alone who came to the medication cleanout here in Lubbock. We were able to collect over 700 pounds of no longer needed or used or expired medications, take those out of people's cabinets to increase the safety of their pets, their loved ones, their children, avoiding accidental poisonings and overdoses. Also, this is better for the environment as we incinerate them, which is the most environmentally safe way to dispose of no longer needed medications. At the bottom, these are some of our oldest or most strange medications we found. As a pharmacy student, this is fascinating to me. I love seeing all the different formulations we have that are totally illegal now. And so if you want to see some really interesting pictures about what we found, I have all of them. I also have the 25 pounds of pills that were brought into us that we had to manually sort to take out controlled substances from. So if you want to see what that looks like, I also have pictures. But this event happens in Amarillo, Lubbock, and Abilene on all of our different campuses, with SGA helping to promote it. And then finally, we were just talking about some legislation we did last year. Let's talk about legislation we've done this year. I said in August that we were going to update our Constitution, and I'm impressed that we did it before the semester ended. We worked really hard, and we were able to get it fully amended in time to be representative of the new TTU HSC institutional SGA, which is comprised of everyone, whereas before it was just a Lubbock SGA back 3 years ago. So we've changed so many things, and now our Constitution reflects this for our future Senates to build off of. We've also implemented projects, and we have 7 current projects that are working on all of our different campuses with all of our different senators. And we've passed 2 different legislations, one of which was a celebratory legislation in honor of Dr. Cook and all of the work that he has done at the HSC. And then now all of our legislation will be available to see on our announcements, which go out to all students so that students can see what their SGA is doing, and they can make new suggestions or give us new ideas on what we can continue to work on. And so it's with that I'm happy to announce we are busy this semester, and we're going to stay busy next semester. What questions do you have for me?
Do you ever go to class?
So I'm actually in my 4th year. I'm only on clinical rotations, so I'm in office all the time doing clinical rotations.
So I'll take that as a no.
I'm doing well.
Thank you. Wonderful report. Great energy. Thank you for your leadership.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
From TTU HSC El Paso, Georgia Haney was unable to attend. She's the SGA president, so standing in for her, please welcome Jaylene Palencia, who serves as the SGA president of Student Wellness. Welcome, Jaylene.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I am Jaylene Palencia. I'm the VP of Student Wellness and also student of the School of Nursing in El Paso. Proud to announce that I will graduate officially in 1 month, so I'll become an alumni in a month. So this is my first time in Lubbock, and also I will be back as alumni, but I'm thankful to come before you all today. So what we have going on in SGA in El Paso so far is we do have a new committee founded by SGA to distribute funds to students from the student service fees that we do collect. The committee is made up of 1 medical student, 1 dental, 1 nursing, and 1 graduate student, along with our SGA president. I personally went before them and do not think just because they're students that they give you an easy time. They definitely do not. They ask for direct quotes from the vendors you're going to get and what you're going to be using the money for. And they distribute these funds for entertainment, food, and travel. Like I said, they are not easy on you when you go. I was a part of a student organization that went to go ask for money, and it is very harsh the way they go. Not harsh, but it's strict the way they go through it and make sure that you have the proper quotes and the proper funding and that you've actually gone through other means before they just hand out money to you all. And they do ask that you provide the receipts once you have, and any money that you have left over has to be given back to the fund. So this is a really great way that we've made sure that student organizations get the funding that they may not receive from fundraising on their own, and they're still able to pull off events all across campus. So for the 2023-24 Senate, there were new senators elected from all the schools, so which is School of Nursing, Research, Dental, and Medical. And this is our largest Senate yet with 24 senators. So not as big as the other campuses, but we are still growing. We do get senators from each nursing cohort that does come in, and they just brought in a new set of cohorts for summer, so which is something different, and they elected senators to represent them as well. We've had a couple meetings to discuss Senate bills, business, and budgeting updates. So SGA did sponsor a Taco Tuesday during the Fall Welcome Week. So over 200 tacos were given to students from a local taco truck. Definitely a lot of students waited outside for their tacos and were very enthusiastic. And of course, students love free food. So they all lined up right away, and it was a really successful event that we held. And we also had a farmers market, which we collaborated with Happy Hour Club, which is Mental Health Matters. And we allow different clubs and organizations across the campus to fundraise by selling goods to fellow students. So we had a wide variety of different stuff. We had baked goods. We actually had some arts and crafts that some students created. And it was a great way to start off the fall semester and also showcase some of the talents that students have across, whether it was baking or making jewelry. They were able to sell their goods and also promote the stuff that goes around on campus. And then we also took place in Socktober, which was our philanthropy event. We gathered socks for our local homeless and refugee shelters. And one of our vice presidents of community service went and took it because our homeless shelter and our refuge shelter actually had a fire in their warehouse recently. So the donation of the socks that we were able to give to them really did help replace what they had lost in the fire. So we were super excited to announce that this was a successful event that we will continue to take place throughout the years coming. And of course, this is a Corazon de Oro, which is our largest philanthropy event of the semester. The service days are every Saturday of November leading up to Thanksgiving. We were working at the rescue mission, which I said did have a tragic fire where they lost a lot of their stuff in. So we've been helping them sort through, see what they can still use, and also clean up the damage that was left behind. So we were able to provide food, and they also offered job search services and drug alcohol programs to the people that were at the rescue mission. But mostly because of the tragic event they had, we did help clean up some of the damage that was left behind. Our fall Senate bills, we did pass a 9/11 Memorial Day activity. So on 9/11 for the coming years, SGA will be hosting a memorial event, and we're going to encourage students to use the staircases instead of using elevators in our different buildings across campus. And if you're unable to use a staircase, we'll have a memorial set up front in front of the school so that you can leave a message to somebody, a loved one of somebody who's passed away from 9/11. We also had a Senate bill passing for a country western dancing, which takes place under my student wellness to kind of help relieve a little bit of stress. One of my committee members actually was the one who wrote it, and she's a very good line dancer, so she's going to head out on campus and teach some people to line dance. So hopefully we'll see Dr. Lang out there as well, get some pictures and have them signed to y'all. And then we also passed a Veterans Day thank you cards to send thank you cards to our veterans across the city. Our future plans, of course, are to continue our Corazon de Oro philanthropy event, which will take place again, and our Thanksgiving luncheon, which I missed, which was yesterday, but it was very successful. We served over 200 students with a Thanksgiving lunch. Thank you guys so much. Any questions?
I'm just curious, and you might not know this, but how many student organizations benefited from the new, budget committee?
I'm not too sure how many, but in the meeting that I sat in, there was about 4 different student organizations that were present there. And I know they've been about having like 4 or 5. And I believe the School of Nursing itself has about 5 organizations that have gone before them. So for sure I know 5. But I know that medical and dental and research all have their own organizations that have been going before them.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment for all 5 of you. I want to tell you how much we appreciate what you do for our students. It does not go unnoticed. and sincerely being a voice for our students across our system. We sincerely appreciate everything that you guys do.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Jaylene, thank you, and Clay, thank you for that good response. We don't need, I don't believe, an executive session, so the next and final item of business is announcements. Are there any announcements to come before the board? I just want to wish everyone a safe and enjoyable holiday season, and lots of good things going on between now and the end of the year, and I really appreciate all the good efforts. There being no further business to come before the board, do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. The meeting of the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University stands adjourned.